so just, one clap to sync the audio. One more time. Perfect. Okay. So whenever you're ready.
I was at Indiana University for 7 years and then 15 years in London. Some of the most exciting work across French cultural studies was happening in the 19th century French field in the United States. And so for me, it was really important to continue the connections that had been made through conference attendance and that sort of thing. And at the same time to develop a whole new network and to learn a whole new system of higher education. I joined AUP from Holyoke College in South Hadley, Massachusetts, where I was acting president and president for a period of 6 years, and before that, vice president for academic affairs. I've always been interested in the American University of Paris and its role in higher education in Europe, as well as its role in the American higher education landscape and the global higher education landscape. So the opportunity to do the work that I love at an institution that has always fascinated me and which I followed quite closely, and in Paris was just, it was a perfect combination. The initial interest was not so much in 19th century French literature, but in form. And it was really about how do you distinguish a Baudelaire prose poem from a short story. Then I started reading all sorts of prose poetry and I started reading all sorts of short stories. So I did my PhD on Baudelaire, but I have written on 19th century authors, on 19th century artists. I'm particularly interested in the intersection between the two and in the way in which culture is defined and develops in the 19th century, and particularly in relation to the city, so in Paris. France has always been my spiritual home. To be in Paris is to be in the heart of all of my intellectual interests, right? To have access to all of the materials that I use regularly in my work, to be with colleagues for whom this is a focus, and to live and breathe what it means to be in French studies. And of course, Paris is Paris. It seems to me that Paris gets more beautiful every year. The investment in the patrimoine is extraordinary. Understanding systems and understanding culture are about being able to really know it well enough to be integrated in it, and that's obviously my task at AUP. The upcoming Olympic Games in Paris offer a real opportunity and a platform, I think, for the American University of Paris and everybody associated with the university to sort of promote what AUP is and can do. And there are many ways in which we're thinking that we might do this. So, we have academics or faculty on our campus who have things to say about the sorts of things that the Olympic Games represent. What does it mean to be a global community? How do we think about the Olympic Games? How do we promote the university? What are the opportunities for us to promote research and teaching at the American University of Paris, and at the same time to leverage the opportunity in, for example, our nascent housing program? The first order of business for any student arriving at AUP is to learn. I have so much to learn about this amazing institution. And so my first order of business will be to listen and to learn and to be as thoughtful as I possibly can about everything I say and do. What is so unique about AUP is its global community. Students come together from all over the world with such different lived experiences, such different interests, and come together in this project, this learning project, with faculty themselves engaged in deep learning and in reflection on contemporary problems, as well as historic problems, in a liberal arts environment where you are benefiting both from the cultural and social resources of a city like Paris, and the cultural, political, intellectual resources of the faculty and the other students. The importance of the liberal arts is increasingly questioned by a public, but increasingly reaffirmed by employers and by those who see the long-term value of an education which enables you to become flexible, adaptable thinkers, problem solvers. I think what's so exceptional about AUP is that it's taken the very best of the liberal arts tradition and shaped it into this contemporary curriculum with programs that really do draw on the liberal arts so profoundly, and at the same time position students to be very successful in their first jobs and in subsequent jobs. And that's what we know about the liberal arts, that it's not just the first job, it's the way it enables you to evolve your skills because of the adaptability and the flexible thinking that this kind of education offers. We have a real opportunity to talk about the mentored scholarship and learning that our students do here, the small classes, the personal growth that comes with this kind of education, and particularly in this place. So I think there's much to say about the kinds of programs that AUP offers. There's much to say about the classroom experiences and all of the experiences that take the students out of the classroom and into the world. We were able to really adapt very quickly to online learning, for example, and the question is, will we use technology differently? Many faculty said, as they emerged from teaching over Zoom or Teams, that really, for the first time, they saw the value of the flipped classroom. They saw it because there was no other way of teaching, and that first-hand experience of really enabling the students to come to class ready to have the discussion, really, I think will shape the way we teach for the long term, and the opportunity to bring into the classroom experts from around the world. What I heard from students was that they missed the sociability of the classroom, those connections, those questions that you can ask your peers, that make all the difference. And what we mustn't lose is those informal moments of learning, the sociability of the learning experience, the togetherness of that intellectual development. There is always room for this kind of work, and it's different in every institution, and particularly in the French context. That said, racism is racism wherever it occurs, and we all need both personal commitment and institutional commitment to anti-racism. So for me, the real value of the Anti-Racism Action Plan at Mount Holyoke was to create a leadership commitment to it, and the collaboration that was involved in doing that, and the commitments that we made collectively and publicly to our community were what were most important about it. It's always important work to build the financial security of the institution, and so I'm excited to think about promoting opportunities for supporting AUP. Building endowment is for the institution's growth, and it's all of our responsibility to support an endowment for AUP. So I hope that those alums who remember their time at AUP fondly, who want to see AUP grow in new and exciting ways, will also consider what their role is in supporting philanthropic endeavours, philanthropic priorities, and in helping us to build the endowment that will secure AUP for the long term. AUP has just celebrated its 60th anniversary, and as we think about the next milestone, the 70th anniversary, I'm very excited to think about how far we'll travel, how far AUP has already come, but how far we'll travel in this next chapter in the institution's history. So we will have a strategic planning process, but my intent and my hope is that AUP will continue to grow in stature, in reputation, in reach, and in its educational offerings and opportunities, so that it will be a yet stronger over the next 10 years and by the time we reach the end of the decade. It's been really wonderful to me to have these questions from alums, because it's my first real way of getting to know what you're interested in, what you care about, how you think about the institution, what you're hoping for as we move forward. It's a unique experience really as a president to be in interaction with all constituents, so I'm so looking forward to hearing from you, to hearing more from you, to being in conversation with you. And I've so appreciated having these questions that I don't want you to stop sending them, so if you could please continue to send me your questions, your ideas. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you.